Well, good evening. Call to order the Town of St. John Plan Commission study session for February 5th, 2025. Would invite all that are able to stand for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Abernathy, can we get the roll call, please?
Joe Gomez-Dagle.
Present.
Rudy Bambick.
Present.
John Gill.
Here.
Russ Vogel.
Here.
Justin Nestor.
Present.
Colin Enchway.
Present.
Ashley Abernathy, present. Adam Decker.
Present.
John Dykstra.
Here.
Bill Manasopoulos.
Here.
Full house tonight, all right. Item 4, old and new business. Item A, 2024-14 Castle Rock Phase 1A. Proposed final plat of Castle Rock Phase 1A for 5 lots on the north and east side of Manor House Drive, located at Manor House Drive and 85th Place in the existing Castle Rock subdivision. Mr. Reddick, good evening.
Good evening. Doug Reddick with DVG, 1155 Troutline Road in Crown Point. Here tonight representing Andy James, the developer of Castle Rock. We are requesting, in 2 weeks we'll be requesting final plat approval for this phase of the subdivision consisting of 5 lots. Obviously the drawing is shown there. I believe your engineer has reviewed the plat already and everything is in order and pretty straightforward. All the improvements are installed, so we're here to clean it up and get the Mylars approved here in a couple weeks.
All right. Questions, comments from the panel?
Nope.
Mr. Dykstra, you're good?
Yeah, the only question we had is if they wanted to proceed to the maintenance bond already. They have time. They don't have to yet, but we got that question. He's contacted his client.
Yeah, he didn't respond yet to the email, but I'll try to reach out to him again tomorrow.
Okay, yeah. Just if we don't hear, I'll proceed with that we're not yet, and we'll just go according to that. And that's
Fair
how
enough.
my letter will be.
Okay,
Yeah.
but I'll try to let you know.
All right. Sounds good, thank you.
Thank you.
Item B, 2025-01, the shops at the gates. Proposed final plat for a 2-lot subdivision and site plan for Lot 1 of the proposed shops at the gates development located at US 231 and approximately 230 feet from Park Place. Mr. Huss, good evening.
Good evening. James Huss here on behalf of Suncrest Christian Church. Very little to report tonight. From 2 weeks ago, we did make our NDOT permit submittal on January 30th and then immediately responded to Engineer Dykstra's comments with a full resubmittal on January 31st. We're currently, the only things we're still working on is we received some very minor cleanup comments on the plans from the engineer just this afternoon, which we expect to turn back to him tomorrow morning. And we are also developing some driveway options to hopefully further satisfy some of Chief Flores's concerns. That any changes resulting from the shape of the driveway won't be pertinent to the design or drainage of the site or the plat, which will be before this commission in 2 weeks. We obviously will inform Engineer Dykstra and Ashley of any other changes that may result through the NDOT permit process as well. Other than that, we do expect to be back before the commission in 2 weeks requesting approval of the final plat of subdivision and the site development approval.
All right, questions, comments?
I just do, piggybacking off what James said, there still has been some comment received from Chief Flores. There has been some changes to this entrance, and I know James and Chief Flores had a meeting yesterday talking about it, so as soon as we have an idea of what that driveway will look like, I'll make sure the Plan Commission is aware as well.
All right. Very good.
If I may, I don't mean to speak out of turn. Would you mind if I know it's not on the agenda, would you mind if I took just a couple more minutes for Family Express?
I don't have any problem with it. I mean, it's a study session, so, right?
I will keep it very brief. Joe Gomez-Dagle had some questions him and other board members were looking for with regards to the car wash, and I apologize last time to not have them, but I did want to cover a message I relayed to Ashley that hopefully she distributed. But I did speak incorrectly. The state of the car washes Family Express use do not, in fact, recapture the water. The brand does believe that it results in a lower quality wash, but I would like to take a minute to outline some of the benefits. Their system actually only uses 14 gallons per wash for their premium wash and 31 gallons for their highest level wash. This is equivalent to basically a human being taking a shower, which uses approximately 12 gallons. And then the number also pales in comparison to somebody washing their car in their driveway, which at times can even exceed 100 gallons. And even low estimates of a home car wash are 40 gallons. And it also goes without saying that all water used by Family Express will be paid for through the town's water billing process. Another positive aspect is that a commercial car wash is more regulated. They use specialized, fully biodegradable cleaning agents, which is not always the same for home products. A further benefit is that from a home wash and encouraging somebody to use a commercial center is that there is a separate grease and grit separator that's installed specific for the car wash on site, ensuring that none of the particulates, dirt, mud that leaves the vehicle enters the storm sewer system. So I guess, and then the other benefit to that is that Family Express being a rather major commercial operation as opposed to a one-off car wash is that there's very high confidence level that separator will also be maintained and emptied on a timely basis. I think that's all I have, but I hope that if it not to say that it fully satisfies you, but I apologize for not having the information last 2 weeks ago, and that's what I have.
You don't need to apologize. All I need to make sure is that, and I do appreciate and respect the fact that you said I made the wrong statement, simply because we're kind of being careful here, and I think the general public in St. John would like to see that some developers come in with a story that is far, far out, making us think it's beautiful, but it isn't. And that's why I asked you that question. And when I've been involved with water control departments and all these other things, so when you brought that up, I said, wait a second, it's different to me. So I appreciate that. That is something that the general public needs to know, and that's what they would ask me. Okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Were there any other questions or concerns on that, since we're talking about tonight? Just because I assume you will be back in 2 weeks, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night. Item C, 2025-02, Homestead Acres First Commercial Ad. Proposed site plan for Lot 1 of Homestead Acres First Commercial Addition for the proposed use of a retail grocery store located at 9548 Wicker Avenue, NWI Development.
I believe we skipped item B.
No. Mr. Huss had both
I'm
those.
sorry, you're right. My apologies.
Yep, and the add-on. So, all right, Mr. Teranga, good evening.
Good evening. Don Torringa with Torringa Engineering, 907 Ridge Road, Munster, Indiana. Anyway, what you see up there on the screen, and I have 11 by 17s if you need those. But anyway, what this is this is the old Kmart store that has been sitting vacant for many, many years. I had asked Ashley to put me on the agenda so I could introduce this project to you. There's quite a few things that are going on in the background, so for that reason, I did not get all of the engineering submitted to be able to be on this month's agenda. So we're going to be on next month's agenda. Anyway, what is going on here is the building itself is going to be completely remodeled. If you look on that building and you know anything about the Kmart, the north side of the existing building has an addition on there that will be torn down. It's going to then be modified into more parking, as you see on the screen, and also a pharmacy drive-through area. You can also see that on there. The parking lot is a sea of nothing but asphalt, and it's in poor condition. So the intention is to redo the parking lot by milling the asphalt that is there, putting islands in, redoing the lighting, because the lighting is, who knows if it even still works right. So we're putting in new lighting all through there. The upgrades that are necessary to the site are also the truck docks in the back. The truck docks are very small, and for the use of this future use, which will be a grocery store, they want larger truck docks. So they'll be in the same spot, but they will be expanded. Now, probably not a picture of that anywhere. There is one small addition on the back of the building. I'm not exactly sure what that has to do with the internal workings of the grocery store, but it is something that they want to do. And the only other thing I can think of to mention is that there's going to be a new monument pylon sign located in the northeast corner of the parking lot area. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have. So hopefully you're as excited as the people who own the Kmart are to get rid of it. But the fact of the matter is, hopefully you're excited to see something happen there.
I think a lot of town is excited to see something happen there. How is it, and maybe this is too early on, but when you start talking about the truck docks in the back, how is it contemplated that bigger trucks are going to be getting back there? Is it off of 95th or 97th?
Yes, they would come off of 95th as far as I know, and then come in. There's a straight shot into the truck docks. That's not necessarily true, is it? Because what they would end up doing, yeah, because I don't see it, they'd have to turn around somehow.
No, I'm not trying to pin you
No,
down.
but-
I'm
Tell
trying to
me
get
how.
out in front of questions that I think people are going to ask when,
So we actually learned a lot about this. What it is when Kmart was doing deliveries, their system within the semis could stage more of an incline, the way their trucks were set up at the time, whereas Jewel Osco comes in and it's got to be more flat. So that's why a change in the docks is being accommodated. Plus, it's enclosed because it's a grocery, so things are coming in that need to be stored a little differently than boxes, cardboard boxes, and toys and things like that. So it's really more of the semi. The way the loading is has to be flatter for a longer period of time. So that's really the only change. It's not so much wider or bigger. It's just to accommodate the way the trucks are.
Are they going to run north and south along the back part of the
That's correct.
store then? So then they
Exactly
can
how they're
back in
set
and
up
then just
now.
go, and then
They're
they're,
in exactly the same spot.
Exact
They're only
same
going to
spot.
be
Yeah.
demolished and enlarged.
Yeah, just a little bit longer ramp out is all really.
okay.
And
Anyone else,
And
questions?
as far as your question is how the trucks will enter, I would assume they're gonna have to come in off of Kyleman Street and then back into these, unless they pull into the parking lot and somehow manage to do all that backing up to get to that point.
It's the same engineering that was done for Kmart. There's no different engineering as far as those trucks have always come in and out of.
Okay.
But I can understand that the past, Kmart was a lot different then because we had less populated area, especially in the back of where Kmart is at. Now it's populated, and when you're talking about trucks coming in from Kalman in the scheduling, that's going to be a pretty tough timing schedule that the neighbors in that area are going to start to bring up. Although they may like it, they're going to start to bring up questions about the time
It
schedule.
probably
and
depends how
everything.
big the trucks are though, too. I mean,
Yeah,
if
that's-
they're not the big 53 footers, they might be smaller than, the really big ones, so.
But I think those are the questions that they're going to start to, okay? And I agree with you. I'm not trying to, but those are the things that we need to.
Well, what we'll do is we will research that a little bit and we'll have better answers for you at the next meeting.
That's all.
I just want to be out in front of it because we're going to probably
If you
get
couldn't
questions
tell, I
like
was
that.
kind of winging it with that.
We won't hold you to it.
I think the only thing with it is that I think people may complain if we're coming off Kyleman and they're coming off 93rd, coming down Kyleman with the school there, because there is a church there with a school that has a lot of traffic,
And nothing that we've ever talked about or even contemplated has been in anything other than 95th, 96th,
Yeah, that's-
those areas. We've not talked at all about going any further north at all.
There's even cars that come in from 93rd going westbound, that it's going to create a bottleneck, even making a left right there in Kalman. regardless of what size truck that is. Okay, bear with
Right.
me in there. So that's something too. But you probably have a traffic control department there in Jewel that will figure all that out in timing wise, because I'm pretty sure they don't want the aisles to be filled with somebody stocking.
Good thing
up
is
the-
it's not planning to do 300 million in volume. It's just, it's looking at a little much smaller volume, so there'll be a manageable amount of trucks in and out.
And some of them will be small delivery trucks, the bread
Yeah.
ones and everything, the box trucks, so I got you. Okay.
Yeah. We're really excited, so. Any other questions, or?
I think a better parking lot and lots of lights will be great, so.
A revamped store, I think, would be
Yes.
excellent.
Yeah, right, yeah, so. All right, good.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Item D, 2025-03, Bank One, proposed amendment to the final plat of the Bank One subdivision located at 9600 Wicker Avenue and 9615 Kyleman Avenue.
Again, Don Torringa, Torringa Engineering. This is part and parcel to what we were just discussing. This is the Bank One subdivision that my firm did many, many years ago. And it is the cross-access road easement to get into the grocery store parking lot off of 96th Place that you had previously approved. What we decided to do through the help of the town administration was to take the previous subdivision plat, which is 2 lots, and modify, adding a 40-foot ingress egress easement to cover the cross-access road, and to enlarge the drainage and detention easement to match what is actually there. Interestingly enough, what had happened, and unbeknownst to me, but the drainage and detention pond that was there was not covered by an easement entirely. So this will clarify that, and will cure that problem. With that, any questions that you might have?
Questions, comments?
I can state that Don is absolutely correct. I talked with Stuart Allen at length about this and told him that my recommendation would just be to do a plat of amendment to add in those easements that are required. And back when this subdivision was first platted, it was contemplated that this drainage easement would be taken care of when Lot 2 developed, and it just never happened. So this is cleaning up and providing the easements that are required for us to do the drainage and detention, as well as allowing that ingress egress that we approved in December, I believe.
And Ashley's exactly correct. The drainage and detention was constructed, but the easement was never recorded. So with this, the easement it will cover the entire pond.
Okay,
Is that it?
that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Item E, 2024-05, St. John Marketplace, proposed site plan amendment to Lot 1 of the St. John Marketplace subdivision for the Fifth Third Bank to allow for alterations to the parking lot and installation of a sidewalk for ADA compliancy. Fifth Third Bank.
This individual is joining us via Google Meet as they are located in Cleveland, Ohio. Ryan Phillips, are you able to hear us?
Yes, I'm able to hear you, but I can't see anybody. I am, but I'm based out of Columbus, Ohio, not Cleveland,
My apologies.
of course. Our plan really here is just to adhere to standard ADA guidelines. Now with them, per the government, we have to install a pedestrian access point, as you can see. And I don't know if you have the plans visible, because again, I can't see. I'm sorry. But we have to make a tie-in and also install new ADA parking stalls over the old ones with concrete for as a better lasting material. And that's about really it. Just making those connections. We won't be making any other really big changes. We'll also make sure to install correct grading for the asphalt, so there's no change in any watershed or anything. But other than that, that's all we're really looking to do.
Okay, we do have the drawings up in front of us too, so. Mr.
Hey.
Dykstra, from your perspective?
We completed our first review and did issue a letter on last Friday, on the 31st. There was a few comments, nothing serious. Probably the the one that we had discussed internally was that this would be in the 8-foot sidewalk corridor, because it's the right-of-way of US 41 is wider than 80 feet, but there are existing guy wires to power poles that would be in the way, so we're looking for the engineer to respond back on what width can be put there and maximize it. Right now, it's shown as 5 feet, so that's one of the, I would call it maybe the bigger item. Otherwise, it was all minor comments, so.
All right, anyone else? Questions, comments? And then are they trying to come back in 2 weeks, or?
That was their intended goal. I do know that Mr. Dykstra included their engineer in it. Brian, I'm not sure if you were included in on an email. I will make sure you get a copy of the engineer's letter as well.
Okay, I would appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Item F, 2024-06, Gates of St. John, Unit 21D, proposed final plat for a 2-lot subdivision for the Gates of St. John, Unit 21D, located on Azalea Drive, just north of West 106th Place. Mr. Kill, good evening.
Yes, good evening, everybody. I brought some drawings, if anybody would like one. If not, I'll take them all back with me, but the 2 lots, for some odd reason, I don't know why, either it's my fault or I'm blaming it on the surveyor, which is a lot more convenient. I just forgot 2 lots in the middle of the subdivision. I don't know why. There's really no excuse other than, sorry about that, everyone, but this was all inspected and everything was cleared up. Everything around this is platted. John will tell you it's, I don't understand. It's 2 lots in the middle of a subdivision.
So is it just like one 120-foot by 120-foot lot in the middle?
No, it's just 2 lots that I forgot to plat.
Yeah.
I don't know why. And like I said, I find it a lot more convenient to blame it on the surveyor than myself, but there's really not much more to it than that, and that's about it. And it's Unit 21D. Sorry for another unit, but for 2 lots. But that's really all that's here. All the improvements are in, street lights, street signs, the whole thing's completed. It's been done for quite some time, so I would like to just come back in 2 weeks and just final plat, secondary plat, the 2 lots.
Questions, comments?
This- I have to go over all this. When you have these 2 lots, and I go back to the picture there where you shows it. Is there there's no retention pond? You think that might have been, you might have intended to put a retention pond in there? Does that come, they didn't put a lot in there?
All the detention ponds are right to the north, Joe.
Okay.
No, it's just simply is exactly as I stated. It's just an oversight, and
Wow, for a developer to do that, that's pretty, I mean, what's next?
I don't know, I'm throwing myself on, I'm just falling on my sword here.
That's-
It's in the middle of the subdivision, and it's hard to, and that's why I said I want to blame it on the surveyor. When you plat one unit and the next, you match them up, right?
Right. But it may sound funny, but I think it's the general public.
No,
out there
I
look
know,
at it,
yeah.
they go,
It's a-
It's not funny, though. But
No, it's-
Although I can understand that. I'm not trying to be rude.
No, but you need to clean it up so you have continuity of, you know.
And that's
just a vacant
basically
lot
what it is,
sitting there,
to
right?
clean it up to make sure.
Primary platted, but they were just never recorded on a Mylar to become lots of record.
Yeah.
So
Right.
that's what basically.
Well, so I think they would tell us their excuse. And you probably know more about it than,
Oh, no, that's why I'm not making any excuses, I'm just,
no. Mhm. Oh, okay.
Seems pretty straightforward. All right,
Yeah.
we'll see you back in 2 weeks then.
thank you.
Item G, release of escrow. Release of escrow for the Gates of St. John, Unit 24A, in the amount of $5,000 as-built have been received.
That's, yeah, guess I can't explain any better than that. The only outstanding issue was the as-built. I did turn those in to Ashley, so that was the final documentation she needed for release of everything.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when we approved the final plat for 24A. The only requirement Adam McAlpine had in his letter was the $5,000 amount for the as-built. Since they've been received, we are good to make a recommendation in 2 weeks
Okay.
to release that escrow.
Easy enough. And item H, reduction in escrow amounts. Reduction in escrow amounts for the Gates of St. John, Unit 24B, in the amount of $1,250, and Unit 25 by $1,250 as-built have been received. Same comments.
Same comments. We just told the surveyor and the engineer to go out there, get the as-bills done on everything, so we could satisfy the town, and now they have as-bills for everything. And that was that's usually the final step in everything. You're always waiting on as-bills, so.
The reason for the weird number is when the bonds were, when the escrow amounts were originally posted, the as-built amount was $5,000. We recently reduced them to the 25% maintenance, so it was calculating 25% of $5,000 to get to the $1,250 of what is remaining in those escrow accounts.
Gotcha.
What Ashley said.
That's why I said gotcha.
She's keeping very good track of everything.
She's not
so.
yelling at me that it's wrong, then I.
No,
I think
she's
we're
keeping
fine.
very
Yeah.
good track, and I
Yeah.
said, Ashley, you're right.
We appreciate you. All right. Thank you. That's all for old and new business. Item 5, adjournment. Motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.